Hello there, Capricorns. Welcome to your January 2017 tarot reading. So I'm using a different spread for this month, mainly because it is the beginning of the year, and I want the reading to be a little bit more thorough. This spread reflects the 12 houses of astrology. So there, I pulled out a card for each house, and we're going to focus specifically on what you need to know and some of the things that are happening for you in certain houses so that we can have like a better picture, a holistic outlook for January, which pretty much will set the precedent for the rest of the year. And we are still in the Mercury retrograde cycle coming into this month, and it's really important to re-examine some of the areas that we need to either whip into shape, or some of the changes coming through that we need to implement in our lives. Okay, and it will narrow down the specific sector. So I'm going to go into your reading here, and the 7th house deals with relationships and 5th house deals with recreation. So these two cards will provide the I guess like the direction for the love reading, which will follow this reading. Okay, so let's get into your reading. There's a lot of information to get through. So the first house deals with how others see you and deals with how you see yourself. Okay, the energy that you bring to the table and the energy that you project into your environment. So you're starting out this month as the King of Cups. This is an energy where it indicates somebody who is very emotionally stable. They know what they want to go for, and they know when to sit back. So this is a very, very, I want to say like it's a relaxing, is a chilling out type of a month for you. And this is indicative of somebody who has a lot of emotional abundance. They're feeling, on top of the game. They're feeling as if they can rely on others and others can rely on them as well. It's also indicative of somebody who is quite sympathetic. They understand other people's pain and they know how to soothe them out. The fact that all the other cards, there are many, many cups energy, indicates to me that a lot of you for this month, you are going to be called upon to be, that sympathetic ear for another person. You're called upon to offer, life advice, wisdom, etc. And you're also called upon to extend a hand of for either assistance or to like lend a shoulder for others to lean on, as well as you're required to be extremely sympathetic, but knowing your boundaries. So that basically means showing other people that you care, doing things in a emotionally nurturing way without losing your perspective or your sense of self in a situation. The king in this suit basically represents somebody who is emotionally secure and stable in themselves. They are happy with the way things are going in their environment, and they are somebody that is that others know they can always rely on. So there's a lot of an energy about being able to put yourself in other people's shoes, being able to sympathize with other people's sorrows or even other people's pain. Not that you're going to do anything about it, because this is not an action-oriented court card. It's somebody that, can nurture, through their presence. They know how to affect other people, and they know how to be, like that emotional pillar of strength for other people. In the negative manifestation, this is a card about overindulging as well. Okay, so it is your birthday time, but obviously be careful with overindulging in food, wine. Be careful about weight gain if you're not, if you're not looking to gain weight, and just be careful about overindulging in general in life's pleasures. This is somebody who's actually very well-rounded. So it's the king. So I do feel that he's pretty much on the apex of that emotional experience. So I feel like you're heading into this year feeling very, very optimistic about the trajectory of the year. You're feeling very good about your either your standing or your your environment. So this is a very positive start to January of 2017. The second house, the second card here, deals with the second house, which rules your money and your values. We do have the Knight of Swords here, and the Knight of Swords basically indicates, communication and messages coming through very, very quickly as it pertains to documents about money, or even swift news regarding money and finances. I do feel a lot of you are going to be getting like a lot of phone calls, a lot of papers, contracts, and people reaching out, following up, as well as you have to play phone tag with quite a few people. There's also a lot of questions being raised about, a financial settlement, or even a lot of swift communication coming through regarding money. For others of you, there is this person here showing up here as an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. This is somebody who is very, very good to have on your side. They're giving you very solid advice. They are very action oriented. So whereas, this is more of like inactive, this is a very, very active energy. And they're almost, I want to say, aggressive, assertive, and aggressive. I feel that they are linked up with your money somehow. So this person might be somebody that, is that you're partnering up with in order to do some type of work. As it pertains to, like, it could be a client, it could be somebody that you're dealing with on a regular basis in order to get some money. I feel a lot of energy about collaboration with this person, and I feel that, they complement you really well, even though the energy sometimes can feel a little bit jarring. It's like they're pushing you along to do something to make money. And they're pushing you along because they have a very, very sharp, keen mind. They also, I'm feeling, they might have a sense of premonition about what's going to happen, and they're trying to steer you in the right direction. Their energy seems a little bit volatile, but I do feel this is somebody who has a good heart, and they're coming through because they feel like you're not taking the initiation to do something, that like you're not taking the initiative to do something regarding your money or your finances, okay? In terms of values, this is a card about interrogation. So I feel for some of you, you might be asked a lot of questions by other people, and you're going to have to be very swift, like very much on your toes when it comes to responding to people, and when it comes to how you explain, how you sort out, how you compartmentalize information so that you can disseminate information in a meaningful way, and in a way where where it doesn't, like escalate conflict and tension in a situation. So one of the things that it focuses on in values is, truthful communication that doesn't beat around the bush, as well as communication that actually gets to the heart of the truth and can provide the most information in a very short amount of time. You're going to be, forced to think on your toes, think very, very quickly, to be very communicative, and to also, not shy away from stating your point of view. So I feel this energy about truthful communication and being able to like slice and get at the heart of the truth, okay? Now, in terms of your third house, the third house usually deals with siblings. And it shows up here as the Queen of Cups in the reverse position. A lot of you might have a sibling that is a water sign. This is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. If they are not this, if they're not of this suit, they are somebody that exhibit this quality. Okay. The Queen of Cups in the reverse position is somebody that is a little bit naive, that is also prone to, that victim mentality. They're kind of mired in their own emotional problems, or even, whatever problems they're going through. I do feel there's going to be communication from this person. It's a sibling coming through. And I feel that there's going to be some discussions about, they're going to pour out their heart to you. They're going to vent to you, and they're going to want your emotional support for whatever reason. I do feel this is a very family-oriented type of month, where there might be health issues, where there might be a lot of communication with family members overall, because 3 of the court cards in the suit of water have come out. And basically that indicates, some type of a family dynamics where you are going to have to be there to emotionally support family, and especially a sibling, to weather some type of a difficult transition that affects the whole family unit. So this is somebody that's going to make themselves heard, and I feel that they can be a little bit emotionally irrational. They can have a very pessimistic, also like a victimhood type of a mentality. So just be prepared, and like I mentioned before, you are forced to be somebody's kind of like, pillar of strength, shoulder to lean on in rough times this month. Okay, so be patient with that energy. So we're dealing with the fourth house. The fourth house deals with family dynamics, and it deals with your mother in particular. This is I guess it's a good card overall, but let me just say this. I mention all the time that, some of the most karmic relationships that we have is with family members. And I feel for a lot of you, the household that you grew up in, the childhood home that you grew up in, for whatever reason, there might have been some type of like, oppressive, restrictive energy. And I feel for a lot of you, there's a lot of karma. There's a lot of like expectations in the household. So parents might have been, quite domineering, quite controlling. One or both parents might have dealt with, anger issues. And there's this power dynamics that's not very comfortable within the household. And as it pertains to the mother figure, there is a sense of like somebody being very, very oppressed, somebody who's not able to speak out, who's not able to protect you or your siblings. So I do feel like all of these things are being brought up for healing. All of them are being brought up as well into the light so that the family unit can properly deal with this, some type of dysfunction within the household. It did show up in the reverse position, which is a very, very good thing. This is like overcoming oppression, overcoming addiction, overcoming that, victim mentality. So I feel like a lot of you might have grown up in an environment where a member of the family has dealt with some type of either an addiction, they might have kicked the habit, they are taking better care of their health, or there might have been some type of power dynamics within the household where somebody is regaining their strength, they're coming into their sense of power, and they're speaking out, or they're like, like they're breaking away those chains of oppression in order to free themselves. So this is a really good card overall. As it pertains to the mother, I don't know if you have like some type of, if you've dealt with a mother who, I feel like, who wasn't very verbal, who wasn't very vocal. And I feel especially a lot of drinking. I do see like maybe, like a sense of alcoholism that runs through either the maternal or the paternal household, and it really affected the dynamics in the family that you grew up in. It also affected your mother as it pertains to how she is able to break away and basically, reclaim her power or reclaim her voice, and to be able to affect outcome in her own life. Okay, so overall, I feel that it is a new year, and this is a positive energy for lasting change induced from within. So somebody is going through some major reality check in your family unit. It could be you, but it could be like people in your family, especially the mother figure, and to really step up and to start to see themselves as as having the free will and the agent of change in their own life. Okay. The next card here, this is going to be the fifth house, and the fifth house deals with recreation, fun, entertainment, and it deals with creativity as well. We have here the Knight of Cups showing up in the upright position, and usually this indicates, this is a card of a water sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What I'm feeling is this is somebody that you are either hanging out with, going out with, and doing creative projects together with, or this is just like representative of the energy coming through as to how you find fun, how you find excitement. There's a lot of opportunities for get together, for going out and enjoying yourself. I do see a lot of group functions, group gathering, going to, I do sense microbreweries is what the message came through as. This is a card about socially dating as well. A lot of sincere good offers for flirtation, fun, and excitement, okay? Once again, be careful about overindulging. And what they're also saying as well is all of this fun and excitement. I know it's your birthday time, but when it comes to spending overall, you want to curb the tendency, mainly because what's coming through when it comes to your work and your health. We do have the Five of Pentacles, and this is not a good card to get in this position. The Five of Pentacles, as it pertains to your work environment, this is a card about lack. So for those of you who are looking for work, for example, I feel like December and possibly in January, it's not a great time. Like the pickings are slim, and it's also, like you might have applied for work and not gotten any like feedback. So it's really important, if you're in that position, to keep at it. Don't give up hope. There is going to be a good fit for you as it comes to work and things like that. Okay, so just don't give up on it. When it comes to your health as well, the Five of Pentacles is a card about reassessment. Okay. Usually I think of this card as karma, and it can be good karma or bad karma, but the way this is coming through is I feel like there is some type of either health issues that is permeating around the environment that you're dealing with. So, for example, there could be some type of health issues transmitted through the family, such as, something that is hereditary, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, something related to the blood that can be transmitted through the generations. So I feel there's something that you're dealing with here. For those of you who are in a healing profession, I feel that January is the month where you are going to be dealing with more severe cases as it comes to people who are feeling kind of like at their wits' end. They're feeling that spiritual lack, like spiritual bankruptcy, and they're feeling very, very depressed. So I do feel depression. I do sense like blood-related illnesses coming through from people around your environment, or you're dealing with this directly. Once again, when it comes to work, I feel almost as if you want to be very conservative with your spending, because the work environment might not be very stable with this job, and this is also kind of like dipping into your savings in order to get through some hard times as it pertains to work. There is a major slowdown with this card when it comes to work. So if you're working on like sales basis, client basis, or even some type of if you're taking specific orders and there are batches of orders coming through, there is going to be a major, major slowdown for this month. So just be very careful with your money. Don't overindulge. There's a lot of opportunities for going out, so they're pretty much warning you about that, because it's going to lead to a situation where you are spending out, exceeding your limits when it comes to spending. Now, you are an earth sign, you're very practical, so I'm not too worried about that. But either way, it's important to remind people, especially for those of you who have been consistently dealing with financial hardships for the past 5 years. You want to be especially careful, cautious this month. Curb your spending, okay? Whatever, I want to say optimistic state that you're in, you still want to curb your spending a little bit for this month, all right? In terms of your 7th house, this is relationships, business partnership, love relationships, marriages, etc. We have the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands is indicative of conflict. This is a card about valor, defending your beliefs, and dealing with somebody who might be argumentative, dealing with somebody who might be accusatory, or dealing with somebody who might have a little bit of a bad temper. So I feel that it's really important for you to not shy away from conflict. Don't be too complacent, and don't be too, don't rest on your laurels for this month, okay? It's really important to really stand up for the things that you believe in, as well as really try to understand the other person's point of view. This is a card about, finding a way to do things the smart way rather than the hard way. So, just, for emphasis, I want to say that I feel like a lot of you are dealing with somebody who is they're arguing for, like, on moral grounds. They're taking the moral high grounds, and I feel like they might take it too far, or they might, there's a sense of accusation, I feel like, coming around in your relationship sector. And we're going to look a little bit deeper into this situation in a little bit. But I want to just emphasize here, it's really important for you not to rest on your laurels. It's really important for you to really fight for the things that you believe in and be a lot more proactive, okay? Don't drag your feet for too long. If there's something that comes up and you feel like, hey, I don't believe in that, then really stand up and fight for it, okay? What I'm also feeling is when it comes to business partnerships, for example, not just relationships, but business partnerships, you might be dealing with this type of an energy where someone is really fast and they're like, go, 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 and they're pushing you in a direction when you feel as if you're not ready. So the smart thing to do here is, just I feel like it's important to debate, and it's also important to figure out that maybe there's some validity to what they're saying. They're pushing you along mainly because they think the opportunity is once in a lifetime, and they don't want you to miss out on that. And that's specifically dealing with a business partner. And then for others of you, if this is like a love relationship partner, there's conflict brewing as to, who's doing what, and who's chipping in and who's taking care of the responsibilities. There's going to be kind of like keeping scores between two people. And I feel that whoever your partner is, they might be facing a lot of obligations or responsibilities, and they're pretty much urging you to step up to help them. Okay, so I feel like you're going to be called upon to do a lot of either emotional helping other people, like emotionally being there to help other people, or at least, physically getting your hands dirty, doing the nitty-gritty work in order to assist somebody. So lending a helping hand with a lot of responsibility. So just be prepared for that, okay, Capricorns? Now, in terms of your 8th house deals with, I want to say, like, shared resources. We have here the 9 of Wands. And let me talk about this card in the upright position first before I flip it over. So the 9 of Wands, this is a card about, kind of like your walls coming up and getting ready to fight another day. So, obviously you want protection. Obviously you want, like, to be properly, to be well equipped when you fight this last leg of the journey, right? And when it shows up in the reverse position, I do feel that walls are closing down, or at least walls are falling down. And when it comes to other people's, like, joint resources and things like that, I do feel there is going to be some type of a serious discussion about who's chipping in, who's doing what belongs to me versus what belongs to you. And I do feel this discussion is not going to be smooth, and it's not going to be too abrasive. I just feel that you're going to start to see things from another person's point of view, and you're going to be able to figure out why they want to operate the way that they do. And I do sense as well, you might be put in a position where the other person that you're dealing with is telling you precisely how much assets, how much financial assets they actually have. So I feel like whatever information is revealed when it comes to joint finances, joint assets with another person, they're going to be very sincere and honest with you. And I feel that there's going to be some truths that can be reached regarding what belongs to whom. Okay, so especially for those of you who have been going through some type of, either divorce, separation, legal battle, and things like that, you're going to get a lot more certainty and clarity as to how much money you're getting. So I do feel walls coming down, conflict coming to an end as a result of, some situation regarding share resources. In terms of your 9th house, we have the 6 of Wands. especially for those who are like in school. Okay, the ninth house rules travel. It also rules higher learning, so institutional learning, higher education, higher learning, travel, etc. Dealing with foreigners, it's also in this house. Be careful, take adequate time to study for exams. Okay, so this is a victory card. When it's in the reverse position, it basically means blockages, challenges coming through in between you and a victory when it comes to some type of educational attainment. So with this card, it basically means that when it pertains to like education, passing exams, being able to go to a specific school that you have applied for example, being able to successfully complete a course. Just keep in mind, this is an outcome that you can change, and we're doing this specifically so that you can see where the problem spots are, and so you can, try to fix them early on in the month. This usually screams out, like landing a grade that you feel that you're not too happy with on an exam. So just be very careful about that, okay? As it pertains to like, applying for college, applying for grad school, applying to do some type of a PhD program, getting news information that you might not want to hear, okay? I do feel that it's going to pan out in a way, in the future, but I do feel for this month, be very, very diligent when it comes to studying for exams. Be very diligent if you are applying for schools to, keep your options open, mainly because, that top choice school, it's highly competitive. So it's really difficult to land, a position in that school. Work very hard, and I also feel that if it's like an application that you've sent out months before, then it's a little bit too late by this month. But I do want you to just focus on, especially for those of you who are students, okay? Keep your head in the game when it comes to like being diligent about setting time out for studying. And if you're starting like a new course, like a new semester or a new quarter, make it a success by having just good study habits, okay? So don't overindulge, all right? One last thing that I want to say, travel and things like that, higher learning travels. Travel delays when it comes to visas. I do sense if you are, I feel like a lot of you are not planning any type of long-term travel, or if you're planning it, there's going to be some news when it comes to visa problems, when it comes to like passports and things like that. You might be called upon by family members as well to travel, but I feel like travel is going to be severely restricted somehow for this month. It could be because of work. It could also be because other responsibilities are bearing down on you, so you're not going to be able to travel too much this month. This deals more with like foreign travels. I see like overseas or across the continent or a little bit further away type of travel. So just be prepared for that, okay? 10th house, work, career, and this is the father. So let me talk about the father figure first. We have somebody that is coming through. First of all, the Four of Cups. This is when I feel like somebody who's very obstinate, who's quite difficult to deal with. And they're not always bad. It's just somebody who's very, very fixed in their ways, and they're refusing to change. The 4 in numerology indicates foundations and stability. And on the positive side of this number, it's a very, very stable, reliable person. On the negative side, it's somebody who is like very, very resistant to change, very fixed, very stubborn, and just they refuse to listen, and they refuse to listen to logic. They want what they want, and they don't really budge, okay? So whatever scientific, proof that you throw at them, if it doesn't appeal to their emotional sense, then they just won't budge. So the best way to deal with this person, especially if it's a father figure or an authority figure in your work environment, is coax them to your way of thinking, coax them to get them to see what you're seeing rather than pushing them to believe a specific thing. So I feel like, gently coaxing them would be a lot better. This is also a card of the waiting game. So I feel like A lot of you are waiting on either, hearing back from a job, or, waiting on picking between different career paths. And you're waiting on feedback, or you're waiting to see if there's going to be, some type of a compass, like some type of a spiritual insight and things like that, that can steer you in the right direction. This is overall, I feel that it is a good card, because at least it indicates options are coming through when it comes to, your 10th house, your career, your prestige, and things like that. So at least options are coming through. But I feel that because this is such a pivotal month for you, when, it's classically like a solar return for you guys, because it's your birthday month. So it usually indicates it's a situation where you're not... You can't really just bounce around anymore. A lot of you are kind of like forced, either internally or externally, or by other people. There's like social pressure, there's family pressure, there's also internal pressure about picking a career track and sticking with it. And a lot of you are reassessing whether or not the field that you're currently in is the right path for you, mainly because other options are opening up. Or you are wondering whether or not you should stay in one place or change your career altogether. This is a card about reassessment. It doesn't indicate any movement. It's just you're taking some time off to reassess in light of new information that might have come in for you through December, because December was the majority of the Mercury retrograde happened in December, where a lot of insights, a lot of truths, and a lot of information came through. So I feel a lot of you are reassessing things in your work environment, okay? What I'm also feeling overwhelmingly as well is there's going to be some challenges when it comes to persuading people to come to your I want to say like to your point of view. So a lot of you, I feel like you want to do work that is meaningful, right? You want to do work no matter how much it pays. You want to do a certain job mainly because you believe it's valuable, you believe it's needed, and you believe that it's necessary. So you could be in a helping profession, like you could be a like a civil servant. You could be a police officer. I do see law enforcement coming through heavily, especially with this card. And I do see, counselors, teachers, healers, like mental health, or doctors and physicians and things like that. And I feel like you are reassessing your career path. Not that you're planning to do like a 180, but I feel that you're dealing with people who might be a little bit combative. They're very fixed in their opinion as well, and they might not want to change. And you're thinking of like how you can allow them to reach that point where they have enough insights to want to, make changes within themselves. Or you are reassessing like, am I on the right path? Because I want to help people, but people are not willing to help themselves. So I do feel a little bit of a spiritual crisis coming through, okay? Don't make any moves, until like the later part of the month, because we're still dealing with that shadow period from Mercury in retrograde, the tail end of it. Make a decision by the end of the month. And I do feel, the 14th onwards would be a lot better for you. Take the time to reflect and do this reassessment, but don't make any changes until the end of the month. You're going to get a lot more clarity, and you're going to get new information, new opportunities as well. All right? Okay, so this is 10th house. 11th house, group associations, friendships. We have the Six of Pentacles here, and the Six of Pentacles in the reverse position. I'm going to say this is a month where you have to rely on yourself. And I feel that, whatever help you're hoping for from friends or even group associations, I feel that they, for whatever reason, might not be available for you. And it's really important for you to do internal work in order to arrive at whatever it is that you need guidance on. If you need financial support, I do feel like, it's coming through mainly from, I do see family. It's not going to be coming through either friends or group associations. I feel like for this month, there's a lot of opportunities for going out, right? And the friendships that you have, I feel that they're good people. They have a good heart. but for some reason there might be a little bit of a financial lack coming through from their end where they're not going to be able to help you financially. They will be there for you with a helping hand, but I feel like when it comes to financial resources, it's not looking too great. So financial assistance coming through from friends and things like that, it's not going to be to your liking. So just, watch your spending, be self-sufficient, and, taking some time off, honestly, to reflect on some of the things you might need some guidance on. That's going to be a very good use of your time the first 2 weeks of the month. So I would urge you to do that, okay? I feel almost like I almost feel like I almost feel like some of you are in a position where there is a huge income disparity between how much you make and how much your friends are making. So they might be very prone to, extravagance, for example. And you want to cut back, you want to scale back, mainly because you're not making the same type of money that they're making. And then likewise, that energy can flow both ways. But I feel that it's coming through where your friends, they're making a lot of money and they have this, kind of like a high roller type of life, and they're going out all the time and they're soliciting you to go out all the time. And I feel like it's really hurting your bank account. So just be very careful. You might have been hit hard in December because, it's the holiday season. There was a uptick in spending, and so you're trying to tone back. And I feel that, the people around you, they might solicit you for going out. And I feel that it would be really important for you to, I want to say, to explain to them that it's not possible to do this month. Wait until next month, for example. When it comes to group associations, I feel like there is going to be some type of financial windfall. However, the distribution of this money might be delayed, okay? So if you're waiting on some type of institutional body, which can even be, like some type of school situation as well, like student loans, some type of payout coming through from a governing body, an institutional body, or even like insurance and things like that, things that you belong to. I feel that there's going to be a little bit of a delay, but it is coming, or the amount that's coming in for this month. If it's not delayed and it's actually coming in for this month, it's going to be a little bit less than you anticipated. Or overall, it's going to be delayed and the amount will be dispersed or dispensed to you at a later date. Okay, and I feel like summertime, they're saying in about 4 months' time, and I do sense like there's this summer energy. Now, the 12th house is a little bit more complicated. The 12th house deals with like secrets, institutions, as well as things in your environment that you might not be aware of. The 12th house traditionally is like hidden things. And this is a complicated house when it pertains to like, incorporating the tarot into astrology. But let me just say, we have here the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands basically indicates a situation where you have, news, communication, messages coming through, even like communication, travel, opportunities, and things like that. I feel for many of you, there is like plans, opportunities for travel, but I feel that it's happening in a very, very swift manner. Okay, it's like very, very last minute. It comes through and then you have to be quick on your toes and you have to decide whether or not it's happening. So I feel like very short trips, because the 9th house is being blocked for travel. So I do see like very short bursts of trips, like trips, to a different city a few hours away, or a very short trip within the continent, like, within a different state, or to a neighboring country that's not very far away. So you have opportunities here for engagements when it comes to, taking quick trips, like quick travels and things like that. I'm actually going to pull out another card because I want to see what this pertains to, okay? Just give me just a second. Okay, so I actually pulled out 3 cards, mainly because I feel like it's speaking to different people. So I want to say this: if you're dealing with a fire sign, okay, so this is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. If you're dealing with this person, and especially if this is a person that you are romantically linked in with, because we do have some fire energy here, and we have heavy water and fire. And I feel that, you know, there's a lot of conflict when it comes to like a close interpersonal relationship coming through for this month. There is discussions about somebody planning a major trip to travel, and I feel like you are not aware of this. Okay, so if you are living with them or if you are romantically involved with them, there might be something related to a big trip that they're planning to take. So this is not you, this is other people planning to take a major trip, and they haven't really discussed that with you yet. And likewise, you have somebody bringing in opportunities for short trips that could be in your vicinity. It's not coming into the picture just yet, okay? And when it happens, it's going to be kind of like very swift, very fast. And if they're planning a major trip, it's going to be like a bomb dropped on you. It's linked up here with the Two of Swords, which basically means I feel like they are waiting on some things before they can make a decisions about when they're going and where they're going. We have here the Queen of Swords, which basically means that, you know, once they decide, it's going to be quite far away. And we also have here the Emperor as well, which basically indicates to me you have a lot of spiritual energy coming through for divine protection for this month, okay? And what I'm sensing here is that I feel like a lot of you are waiting on some type of money that is coming through. You're waiting on like even career and work situations, okay? And I feel that they're pretty much saying that, you know, whatever you're waiting on, whatever news communication you're waiting on, I do feel it coming through in February. And we do have the Emperor here, which basically indicates spiritual support, okay? In the 12th house, it indicates things that are hidden in your environment. So you have some very strong divine protection, and I feel that things are going to be smoothed out and taken care of. It's not going to be exactly in January. I do feel like, you know, February being a very strong month for breakthroughs, for communication, for like decisions to be made as it pertains to money. All right. So Capricorns, I hope this method of reading has been helpful for you guys, because it's really important, you know, to set intentions at the beginning of the month, the year, so that we can figure out some of the areas that we have been struggling with, or some of the things that are coming through that we might not be aware of, okay? So I pulled out these cards mainly because this is a card that landed in your 7th house of relationships. This is in your 5th house of fun, flirtation, recreation. So these are going to be, you know, guiding energies when it comes to your love reading, which I'm going to do right now. So give me a second. I'm going to shuffle out the cards. So let's see what's coming through. Through for Capricorns for love relationships for the month of January 2017. January 2017. It's funny, for those of you who are either Capricorn males or who are dating who's a Capricorn dating like a male, I feel like you're dealing with somebody with a lot of like facial hair. It's either somebody with like long hair or like a lot of facial hair, and I feel like that relationship is really dynamic. and they're saying like somebody tickling your chin or tickling you, like with facial hair. So I know it's strange, but that's coming through. Okay. We have a lot of strong psychic energies here coming through from the father side of the family. And I feel like it's first of all, let me just talk about that first, because I feel like a lot of you need a career change. And I felt that earlier too. And I feel that, you have some divine protection. You have some, this is basically like spiritual guidance coming through from your father's side of the family, urging you to really reassess what you're doing so that you can move forward and find a career path that, where you're properly employed and properly compensated, okay? So I feel like I've been feeling for the past few months, a lot of you have been in situations where you're underemployed or underpaid. I feel like a lot of you are underpaid. So you need to like do some type of a major career reassessment to figure out what you want to do and where you want to be. Okay, so sorry for that belated message, but let me just go into your reading. So earlier I mentioned when it comes to partnerships, there's a lot of strife in your current relationship. I feel like, somebody, there's a lot of like values differences, philosophical differences, and then, there's a lot of attraction because the fire deals with passion. The wand's energy deals with passion. However, if you are in stable existing relationships, I feel like there's temptation coming through from your environment. There's like more opportunities where you might be going out without your significant other, or you might be solicited, or other people might be flirting with you outside of your relationship. So that's something to be very careful about, okay? And then for those of you who are in a I want to say like single or, socially dating, but you're not really in a relationship just yet. I feel like you're socially dating somebody that there's a lot of passion once again. And I feel like they're not as, they're not as, I want to say like I feel like they really like you. But it seems like they're bending over backwards to accommodate you. And I feel like you're flattered by it, but at the same time, you feel a little bit kind of like, why are they this? Why are they like this? Like you're questioning their motives. That's what it feels like to me. I'm going to go into your reading and let's talk about the past first. So we have the Hermit as well as the Four of Wands. And, I feel like, okay, so the Hermit basically indicates a card about, looking into a situation and trying to figure out why that situation, happened the way that it did, okay? And in the past position, we have here the marriage card. So a lot of you might have be in a marriage situation or be in a very, very stable relationship. And I feel like this is a relationship that is very good, very positive, and very enriching. And I feel as well, a lot of you are also rethinking a major relationship to see if it's going to, to see if it meets all the criteria to take it to the next level. So I feel that you're heavily thinking about marriage. You're heavily thinking, if you're in a relationship, you want to take a relationship to the next level, and you want to create a home with another person, and you want to, share your life, share your space, share your finances with another person. I feel like with the general reading, the emphasis was very heavy on family, releasing family karma, releasing resentment when it comes to mother, father, whatever hang-ups you have with family members or with the family that you grew up in. I feel like you're trying to make a change. You're trying to do things differently so that, your marriage, your own family that you create for yourself doesn't fall into the same trap, or there isn't that same recurring pattern that you grew up with. And a lot of you are very conscious about this, because this is a card about self-awareness, insight, spiritual guidance, as well as, having enough insight into your situation to know how to change it and to know what you need to do in order to to get it going the way that you want. So I feel that you, especially for those who are in a stable relationship right now, you're in a very, very happy state, and you might like really, love your significant other, and you really want to take things to the next level. A lot of you might have recently gotten married, gotten engaged, taken a relationship to the next level as well, declared, like you might have been socially dating. Now you're taking the relationship to the next level, and you're reassessing whether or not it was the right move, okay? And I feel like you're still happy about this, so I feel like it's a good fit. At the center of the spread here is the Strength card, as well as the World. And first of all, singles, there's a lot of, I want to say just, like really, really robust energy for flirtation, for excitement, for like one night stands, for attracting a lot of people this month. The Strength card is a card about, attracting people that are very different from us. So it's a woman and a lion. So these are, what I call like just different species. Not literally, but I feel that in a way, the people that you're encountering, they're so different from you, either culturally, ethnically, the way they're raised, the thing that they believe in, they're so different from you that it's really, it's exciting, it's dynamic, but it can pose as a challenge down the line. And I feel like overall, this is a card that indicates a lot of like trust in another person, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, but having the ability to really trust the other person unconditionally. So no matter what's happening around your environment, no matter what people say, like you trust one another on a very deep rooted level. It's linked up here with the World, and the World basically means travel opportunities and, opportunities to meet people who are basically like, either very accomplished in their field or somebody who's very, very well traveled, and you're learning a lot from them. So I feel like this month to be single, it's a really, really good thing to enter the, the month and also the rest of 2017 with, because you have a lot of great suitors around you. You have people who are very worldly. You also have people who are very, I want to say like, I feel that they're very, they have a lot of personal insights, and they're just highly spiritually evolved, okay? They believe in many things, they're open-minded, and I feel that they're always up for learning new things. So you're in a very good position, I feel like, starting this month when it comes to relationships overall, or like for those of you who are dating. The foundation of this reading here is the High Priestess, and the High Priestess basically means revelation, things being kind of like brought into the light for re-examination or for reassessment. And we have here the Sword of Truth, which basically means, some news that is being delivered to you, with the Ace of Swords, some news that is being delivered to you that will allow you to make a major decision. If you are dating somebody, and I feel like if you are dating somebody and you're living in a house with them, I do sense there is an escalation in that relationship and you're taking things to the next level. If you are currently single and dating, for example, if you're currently single and dating, I do feel that there's plans for travel. There's going to be a lot of movement in travel with a significant other, and meeting new people and romantic prospects on the en route when you are traveling somewhere. So I feel like, it's not like overseas so much, because like I mentioned before, the 9th house is blocked, but you might potentially be discussing travel plans further down the line, but the discussion is happening now, but the actual travel is further down the line with a relationship partner or a significant other. So this is a very good combination overall. It basically means, things being revealed to you. I feel like somebody is pouring their heart out to you, and they're telling you that they really like you. And I feel that if you're in a relationship, for example, you're very flattered, but you're going to turn this down, because I feel that your relationship is very stable. If you're single, somebody's doing like an outpouring of love, and they're coming through to like, I want to say like sweep you off your feet. It's like whining and dining and romancing somebody to the point where they can't say no. So somebody is coming on very strongly, and there's a lot of physical attraction. There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of attraction. What's crowning you is the thing that you're thinking about. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which basically means, this is, when I read this card, it's a very positive card. It basically means your dry spell is coming to an end. If you haven't had much luck dating, for those who are single, you're going to be inundated with a lot of options. Like, you're keeping all your options afloat. You're juggling many people. I do see a lot of people speed dating, or going through like many dates, and I feel that it's going to be very positive for you. You should do that. What's also coming through as well is we do have the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords as an advice, I feel it's a card about slowing down. It's a card about not wearing yourself thin, because I feel like offers are coming through plentifully, but I feel that financially and also just on an energetic level, you want to slow down and you don't want to scatter your energy. You want to focus on the options or the people that you feel would actually pan out long term. Because I feel like, it's like quality over quantity, and that's something like, doing things in moderation is something that's required of you for this month. What I also feel is there's a really, really strong, I feel like somebody meeting someone who is a perfect fit for them. And when they say the perfect fit, it's somebody that it's like completely outside of your normal type, okay? So I feel like with the Four of Swords, this is a card about, spiritual ascension. It's a card about being very clear and being very precise about the type of partner that we want, and then the universe coming in to deliver exactly that person. And I feel like you have been trying to manifest this for quite some time. And I feel this is the month in which it's going to happen for you. Okay, your power of attraction is really high. So take up offers on those dates. But at the same time, if you're like, if you're just like desperately going out there trying to find that perfect person, I feel that it's really important for you to just, keep your eyes on, realistic options rather than trying to fit that whoever it is in your environment into a mold that it's not appropriate for them. So just be discerning, okay? What's coming through for you? We have the Three of Coins as well as the Page of Cups. I'm not reading this as a person, but it could be, very well be a water sign. So this is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I feel like for some of you, this might be a brand new person. For others, you might have been dealing with this person for some time. But what I'm sensing is this is a person that wants to build a future with you. So the Page of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. They're very innocent, a little bit childish, not as reliable, but I do feel this is a love offer that is coming through from a water sign, and they do want to build a future, okay? They do want to build a future. For those of you, this is a new person. They want to build something with you, and I feel like they want it to be solid and they want it to be stable. So it's good to give this person a chance, because I feel like they have many options, but they're choosing you, okay? What I'm also feeling is if this is somebody that you've been dealing with for quite some time, and I feel like it could be problematic because they are very flirtatious, and I feel like they're very whimsical and almost like mischievous. So I feel like they say a lot of things that confuse you. Like they say a lot of things where you're just like, I have no idea what they're talking about. They send you like confusing text messages, confusing emails, or they might be joking around and you don't really know when they're joking or when they're serious. So it's somebody who has like issues with saying what they mean and meaning what they say. So I feel like it's a very confusing energy. Be careful, because I feel like this is somebody that could have, third parties involved as well. They're flirtatious, so I feel like they're sending their radars out for people who are single. So I feel like you might just be caught in the crossfires rather than them having serious intentions. So I feel that you will know which side of the coin which side they fall under. Okay, if they're just confusing, if you don't know when they're joking, if you don't know when they're serious, and if they're sending you these confusing messages, that's probably not the right person, okay? So stable people in relationships. I do sense relationships looking very good, okay? And I feel like for some of you, you might be crushing on somebody, and that might be in a relationship. And I feel that you might realize that their relationship has recently ended, and I feel like you're making a play for them. or they're making a play for you. So somebody whose relationship has recently ended, and I feel like you're being very, very skeptical and you're taking it very slow, which is a smart thing to do, okay? So it's going to be a really, really good month, especially for those who are in stable relationships and especially for those who are out dating, because you have a lot of offers coming through, all right? So Capricorns, I do wish you all the best. I hope you like the new layout. I'm going to try to do it for the rest of the year just to see how it goes, because I like to switch things up every once in a while. So I hope the reading has been helpful. If you'd like to get a private reading, visit my website where you can, the link is in the description box below. And to donate to the channel as well, the link for the donation is in the description box as well, okay? And I'm going to be back for the mid-month reading as well. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care and happy birthday. Bye-bye.